Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome inside the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here on this wonderful Wednesday opening night for the Edmonton Oilers as they go on the road to take on the Vancouver Canucks. Winnipeg is in Calgary. Hus will be joining us from Calgary. He's supposed to hop on from the Saddle Dome if they have internet there. Oh, I had to do it. Habs and Leafs tonight as well. We'll certainly get into that as we work our way through this episode of The Lock Shop. If you are watching live, make sure you sub to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you are listening live, remember you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. NHL action last night. Connor Bedard with a point, did not score. Sidney Crosby did score last night. And in the end, we had that. The favorites on one of those exclusives over at Coolbet, and it was the Pittsburgh Penguins that ended up costing us, which was like the one thing we're like, the one team that's certainly going to win is Pittsburgh. And then Chicago Blackhawks put together a pretty good effort. As somebody said, they're on pace to go 82-0 so far this year. And apparently a big meltdown in Pittsburgh on social media too, as people are not happy that they ended up losing to Chicago. Obviously, lots of NFL betting that we'll continue to get to throughout the week. On Thursday's episode of The Lock Shop, Hus will be traveling, I believe. So we'll have one of the Coolbet guys, Pat or Jake, hop on with me. And then on Friday, I'm traveling, so Hus will host with one of the Coolbet guys as well. So we always have Lock Shop for you every single day here at 11 o'clock at edmontonsportstalk.com. And we'll get into that. There he is. Ready for Hus? Let's bring in Hus. Where is this guy? Where are you at right now, Hus?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I can't hear you.
He can't hear me. Is that a him speaker thing? I think that might be a him speaker thing.
That is the issue. Hold
yeah.
Hold on
now?
one
How
sec.
about now, Hus? How about
Goodness.
now? No, this is classic.
Live in the press box of the Saddle Dome. Let me tell you something. Calgary needs a new arena. Big time. Good thing they're getting it.
Hus and I are going to communicate through hand signals the entire show.
I'm going to have to try. I'm going to pop out and pop back in.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Sounds good, man. Hus will rejoin us. We'll see if he can hear us at some point. I think that's probably a him issue, knowing the setup that he probably has. And like he said, Saddle Dome is a dump. Everybody knows it. That's why they're getting a new bar, and they certainly need a new rink. I wish they would have got a new football stadium with that as well. We've already got a bunch of exclusives that are posted through Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll have some doing Lock Shop, and obviously there'll be a bunch online. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NHL daily exclusives already over at Coolbet. Someone roars, Canada scores. That's always a fun one. Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver to combine for 25-plus goals tonight at plus 125. Shots. This involves Draisaitl, Timmy Stützle, Marchand, and Draisaitl all to record 3+ shots in there as well. Matthews, Draisaitl, and Kyle Connor all to score plus 920. I think I really like that one. Plus 920. That's in the exclusives tab at Coolbet, where you can also find the Edmonton Sports Talk parlay that we put out earlier today on the show. It's plus 265 right now, with McDavid 2+ points, Bouchard with at least a point, and the Edmonton Oilers to win in regulation. So we've got that one as well. What's your favorite play tonight in this Oilers game? Let us know. And if you're watching out of Winnipeg, what about the Winnipeg Jets game as well? Hus still working on getting connected? He's still trying to figure out the audio. Last night, real buzzkill last night. Lock Shop play of the day. We got another one coming. It's a Connor McDavid play today. You'll find that on the Coolbet socials a little bit later on. But I look at it from last night's perspective, and I did put out the tweet at some point. I guess I took a victory lap too soon. But we had Taylor Hall over 2.5 shots at plus money last night. A really good number, actually. And he gets it. I watched the shot myself. I had somebody tweet me a video of what we thought was the third shot. It looked like a shot to me, and it ended up getting taken off the board which was absolutely ridiculous. I was not happy with that last night. I was feeling pretty good about Nashville midway through that hockey game, and then Tampa ended up storming back, and I kind of stayed away from the Vegas game overall in general. Not going to be the case with the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Let's take a look at your odds available over at coolbet.com. If you have any questions, hit me up in the chat. Great hangout today, by the way. Edmonton Sports Talk knocking it out of the park right now. And if you're listening online live, 780-218-9999. Boy, Hustlers Winnipeg Sports Talk, I guess, is up at plus 700. Just got a text from Pat over at Coolbet. So that's a juicy one. Senators tonight, plus 150 dogs on the road against the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm a little surprised Carolina's not on a longer number here. It's minus 178 on the money line, so that's not bad. Habs and Leafs tonight. Toronto minus 286 on the money line against the Montreal Canadiens. I'm usually on, now it's tough because the Habs have usually been in the dog in this situation, this head-to-head for quite some time. But I don't mind the dog in those situations. Plus 235 for the Montreal Canadiens tonight against the Maple Leafs. Total in that game set at 6.5. Total in the Sens Canes game set at 6.5 as well. Bedard takes his show on the road to Boston, where the Blackhawks are plus 255 favorites. I'd probably get on Boston in regulation on that one tonight. Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames, one of the tighter lines of the night. Flames minus 131 faves at home against the Winnipeg Jets. Total in that game with a Markstrom-Hellebuck matchup, you would think, currently set at 6. Colorado and the Kings, that should be a good one tonight. The Kings at home actually are a dog at plus 110. The biggest home dog of the night would be the Vancouver Canucks at plus 134. So we'll get a little bit deeper into those numbers when Hus pops on. We got his video. The internet seems fine. Just having a little bit of an issue getting the audio connected. So he'll try one more time. But the exclusive that we put together a little bit earlier today, and I know many of you who are probably watching this are already on it, but for some reason you don't like the Nielsen show, but you love the Lock Shop, and you're just hopping in. Let me quickly reset this one for you one more time. Plus 265. Oilers to win in reg. Bouchard with a point. If they're getting any sort of power play action, I absolutely love that. And then Connor McDavid, 2+ points. And then the Winnipeg Sports Talk parlay for all of our Winnipeg followers. Mark Scheifele to score a goal. Connor Hellebuck with 28+ saves. And the Winnipeg Jets to win. That is plus 700 if you want to hop on that WST parlay in this game today. Maddie, is it something with the audio in the middle? In one of those drop-down menus? You usually know how this works. I don't even want to...
I've got multiple things connecting to him.
Yeah.
What I usually have to him is there. Plus, I've added our Roadcaster board.
And he can't
He's still not getting that. I'm hearing him.
I heard him too.
Yeah, I don't think that went through across.
Hus, is there a volume button on your... the shot of us just sitting there looking at his board like this. Now, with that being said, he probably has to get this sorted out.
Well, but he did say he chat in the chat. He sent to me that him and Remus tested it and it worked.
See, so that's why I'm wondering if it's on our end.
Well, but I don't know what it could be.
I'm trying to just see
because,
just try all those different things and then click through them or something.
These are the webcams.
Oh, those are the cams?
These are the webcams, some of these.
Where's the audio? Is there on the left, the audio?
This is the audio thing.
Oh, that is the audio.
Our webcams have audio.
Webcams we have plugged in.
So that's not going to be helpful.
Doesn't make any sense.
So I can still hear him.
Maddie and Hus trying to sort this out today. Look, I got a lot of time for your question. We obviously have the Fantasy Football 5 coming up a little bit later on. Let's see here. We got some guys trying to sort it out. Hey, guys, there's some great ones out there. Put together a new team Who Dis parlay. Plus money still available for PD anytime. That in from Pat Maroon's bib today. Savage the Plumber. I'm on Bet Builder. Not a lot was available. You can hop into Bet Builder. Let's see here. I'm going to go Bet Builder right now. This is one of the fun things at Coolbet. You can just kind of hop in here. I'll probably put together a 3-gamer tonight in the National Hockey League, even if we can't get Hus. I know at some point Maddie and Hus will figure this thing out. Usually happens that way. If we're looking at a 3-gamer tonight, Well, we'll go there. First, let's take a look at the bet builder options for the Oilers and Canucks this evening. And there's a lot of different things you can get in here. I did mention earlier on my game day predictions on the Nielsen show a Connor Brown goal tonight. So maybe we put something together or we just take a peek at it and see what that number ends up being to get a Connor Brown goal this evening. Let's see here. Connor Brown, anytime goal. We'll add that into this ticket. I think. Let's see. Connor Brown, add selection. There we go. All right, so that will get us to, for this Oilers-Canucks game tonight, we'll let that load. Okay, so that's one. Let's do points. Oh, it's just the goals. Oh, no, here we go. Oh, that's goals right now. We just have goals up right now. Yeah, the assists. I thought the assists were available in the bit builder. Maybe they weren't. And I'm sure if any of the cool bet guys are watching, they can chime in the chat here as well. But there's usually a lot you can do on the cool bet builder. We'll see. Hus, blink if you can hear me. No, he's not blinking yet. We'll figure that out at some point. If we're building a 3-gamer tonight, actually, you know what we'll do? Because we're going to talk a lot of hockey when Hus joins us, and then we'll probably, if Hus can't connect, I'll put together a little three-gamer here. We can throw a Lock Shop Dusty partner parlay up for you guys tonight. But let's take a quick look at what's happening over on the NFL side of things. CFL lines. Ooh, we do have CFL lines up too. That gets me a little excited. Let's see here. BC Lions, 3.5-point favorites in the Hammer. Well, that's an interesting one. BC, 3.5. Pretty short line, but the Ticats have won 5 of 7. And their only 2 losses were to the Toronto Argos. So that's something you could look at. The Riders and Stamps, I'll be calling that game for TSN on Friday night. Very much looking forward to it. That is a huge, huge game. Calgary, it's win or go home, do or die, however you want to dive into that one. If you've made any early movement on any of these NFL or CFL bets, let me know in the chat or at 780-218-9999 as well. The Riders, 3.5-point dogs on the road against the Calgary Stampeders. It's a really good line. It's a really good line in that game. That's going to be a tough one to call. Riders have lost 5 in a row. Calgary's been a disappointment all season. Both of their games, though, have been straight fire so far this year, which is awesome. I think I feel like they're trying to suck us in with the extra half point here. I think I'd probably get on the Riders plus 3.5 just because you can really have no faith in Calgary. But that's something we'll get to in tomorrow's episode of Lock Shop. And then the Alouettes and Elks game is up as well. That's the matinee game on Saturday. I'll be driving back up the highway to come home and call that one on Saturday afternoon. Back-to-backs here for me this week. The Edmonton Elks at home plus 1.5. Elks plus 1.5. At minus 106. So they're a 1.5-point dog against the Montreal Alouettes. Could that be an upset special? I feel like that could maybe be an upset special. The Elks don't have a lot to play for. Alouettes do have something to play for. That could be something that causes a little bit of an issue in the Elks trying to pull off the upset. But you know, I say own the role of being a spoiler if you're Trey Ford and company against Jason Moss too. And then if Hamilton wins this week and Edmonton can win this week, that sets up a huge Ticats-Alouettes game at the end of the season as well.
So, update.
Okay.
Hus, we can hear him. He still can't hear us.
Yeah.
So, he's wondering if we just bring him on for a couple minutes. He'll hit a few picks.
Oh, I like this.
And then the WST, Winnipeg Sports Talk, for those that don't exclusive,
okay.
And then he turns it back over to you.
All right, so say this again. Okay, all right, let's bring in Hus.
Okay, let's see if this works, because I have to chat with him.
Type in the chat.
I will, but here he is.
When I go like this, then he can talk. Give him a heads up on that, because that's what we'll do. He can't hear us right now, but we're going to bring in Hus.
News. I still can't hear you, Dusty.
Okay, no, that's good.
I can see you, though.
I've done the chat. You can
job
go.
holding it down. I can see the passion. I can see the picks. But I figured that even though I can't hear you, I can still hit you with a few picks and whatnot for tonight. As I said, we're at the, I was going to say beautiful Scotiabank Saddledome. That would be really pushing it. But congratulations to the people of Calgary on getting into arena. I hear that it actually is happening. Flames have just finished their morning skate. Jets are going to be heading out there probably in about 15 minutes or so. And this is going to be a fun one tonight. Now, of course, the huge news yesterday, or what is it? Today's Wednesday. Monday was the re-signing or the extensions of Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele. So Patty and the boys said, hey, Jets opening game tonight. Let's get a WST parlay, and let's see if the good vibes can continue this evening with Winnipeg. And I'm going to focus in on those two individuals. WST parlay is as follows. Mark Scheifele to score a goal. Connor Hellebuck to make 28 or more saves. And the Winnipeg Jets to win. It's up right now at plus 700. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on today when we get going with Winnipeg Sports Talk. And as I say, I have no idea why this is not working, because literally 2 minutes before jumping in with you, we tested everything and everything was fine. I was here in Remus, so I'm not sure. And then I tried to get on the phone, by the way. I tried to do it on my phone. But this Rendezvous Wirecast, you got to download some sort of app or whatever. So, again, mental note, good backup, get the app next time. So anyways, apologies on that. But we do have some, obviously a great night last night. So close to a few of those exclusives. I mean, the Bedard, as I said, I was flying, so I did not see it. But a lot of people thought Bedard had scored. It didn't end up being a Bedard goal. Sid did get one, so we were all over it last night. And then Chicago spoiled the party of the chalk parlay which didn't come through. So anyways, let's get back at it tonight. Big slate of games. There's some big favorites tonight, Dusty. The Leafs at minus 286, not worth, I think, putting on the card at a number like that. Although, I don't think Montreal's going to be very good this year. I do think Toronto's quite good. I mean, maybe minus 1.5 if you want to hammer the puck line for the Leafs to get off to a great start. I'm tempted to sprinkle in the Sens on the money line. I'm high on Ottawa. Well, I'm high on Buffalo too. We'll get to them in a minute. But man, Ottawa's in a real tough spot to open up the season in Carolina, taking on the Hurricanes. So we'll probably do a pass on that game. Blackhawks playing back-to-back nights. I mean, they got their win last night. Highly doubt they do it again tonight. But I have no idea what to expect from the Bruins. I am waiting for at least 2 weeks to bet Bruins games this year. So we'll stay on that one. Now, listen, I think everyone knows I'm pretty biased. I will say this, though. I think Calgary's going to be a lot better this year. But I do think that this Winnipeg Jets team, although we didn't see a lot of it in the preseason, is going to – listen, the vibes are good around this team right now with those signings yesterday the official signings yesterday. Jets at plus 112. Man, that would be nice to see them hit that. And as I mentioned, we do have that exclusive with the Jets win, Hellebuck 28 or more saves, and a Scheifele goal plus 700 in the Cool Bet exclusives. But I'm going to hit a couple home dogs. LA Kings starting off tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. Listen, the Avalanche have that great top line. I think they still are certainly sort of the class of the Central Division, at least on paper. But I think the Kings, Pierre-Luc Dubois, he will be fired up. I mean, yes, he's completely inconsistent normally. You never know what you're going to get one night or the other. I have a feeling he comes to play and has a big one tonight. Don't mind the Kings. And actually, maybe I have to check in on what a PLD goal is. Certainly like the Oilers at minus 158 on the money line. Let the Connor McDavid show begin. But maybe my favorite one, and I might be a sucker for the Buffalo Sabres all year long. I'm in on Buffalo from the get-go, plus 117 on the money line. And the Rangers had a brutal preseason. And again, I don't know how much we can really put into it. Well, not much. Buffalo doesn't play till tomorrow. It's just up on the site. I'm getting it. Damn it. Well, listen, doesn't mean I can't bet on Buffalo anyways. You're right. We may have to wait. We may have to wait an extra couple days. And then what the Philly Columbus game though is today. How about Patrick Laine starting off the season? Oh, that's tomorrow too? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll say this much. The Laine's playing at center. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. So this is important. I need to get these picks in right
yes,
now.
That's right.
Because you guys will be holding it down because I'll be in the air coming back from Calgary for the game. So for tomorrow, I like Buffalo at plus 117. I also, I think I'm going to take Columbus. New coach, shout out to Pascal Vincent. We know him well in Winnipeg. They're at minus 117 on that. And then, of course, we've got the NFL game tomorrow night. And let me just quickly get a little bit on that. By the way, I've been getting text messages all morning from guys lamenting half their fantasy team going on the IR or going on the PUP list right now. The waiver wire is going to be a busy place over this next little while. But yes, tomorrow night, we've got the Chiefs and the Broncos. Normally, I do not bet the Chiefs as a double-digit favorite. We've talked about this before. They are notorious for just doing enough. They almost get bored to go through it. However, the Denver Broncos are one of their arch rivals. They have beaten them. Man, I don't think they've lost to them in 6 or 7 years. Arrowhead's going to be rocking. I think Travis Kelce's going to try and play. And listen, the Broncos are just – maybe the Chiefs will have a competition. We saw what Miami did and put up 70 on them. Can the Chiefs beat that tomorrow? Anyways, I will be laying the points. I will take the 10.5 for Kansas City in tomorrow night's game. And fingers crossed. Well, we'll be back Friday. We should be a normal show. We'll get to all of the NFL picks. Kind of wish we were doing more NFL picks today, considering the way last weekend went. But maybe that run of NFL picking can rub off on the National Hockey League tonight. So, anyways, apologies about this communication link where I cannot hear you, Dusty. But as I say, you look great. CFL hat, the Lions shirt, the roar is restored right now. And we'll see what's restored here tonight with two very interesting teams between the Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. Again, WST exclusive is up with the Jets win, Mark Scheifele goal, Hellebuck 28+ saves. And we'll be all over this game tonight, coming up in about, I guess 40 minutes or so when we fire up from the Saddle Dome. Apologies. Again, I don't even know if it's on my end or your end. It's a mystery. It's a lock shop mystery that may never be solved. But here's hoping that it doesn't happen again. I will turn it over to you, Dusty, as well. And again, we'll do a cool bet segment at the end of WST, probably around 2:45 Winnipeg time. So if you want a little bit more cool betting talk, I'll hit that up with Remus later on. And again, turn it back over to the big man to take you home, go through more of the games. And as I say, have a good time with the boys tomorrow while I'm in the air. And I will see you back on Friday and try and keep the NFL heater going as we get into week 6. Take it easy, pal.
There you go. That is Hus from the Lock Shop in Winnipeg Sports Talk. How good is that guy? Like, how good is that guy as a broadcaster? Like, it is, like, it is ridiculous to me that Hus is not working for one of the networks in this country. Now, he's happy doing Winnipeg Sports Talk. Congratulations to them. They just hit 10,000 subs on YouTube, which is awesome. By the way, congratulations to our team here. We just hit 4,400 YouTube subs. So let's keep pushing that number up. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Game day, morning after show. We're going to be hammering Oilers talk post-game tomorrow morning. We got the Oilers pre- and post-game stuff with Tommy Gazzola happening tonight. And what? But anytime I just sit back, I was like many of you there. I just kind of sat back and enjoyed Hus for everything that he is, and he just knocked that segment out of the park. Not surprised he's on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm surprised that number's not a little bit more. I mean, at 10.5, who's going to get on the Broncos? Who's going to get on the Broncos to basically cover against anybody, let alone against the Kansas City Chiefs? On the road, I mean, they roll Travis Kelce out there with a crutch, and you're still going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in that ball game. So we'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow on the Lock Shop would be myself and Patty. I mean, maybe we can throw Jake in. Maybe bring both of the cool bet guys in for a little bit. And then on Friday, it'll be Hus and those guys. And I'll be on the way down to Calgary to call that a CFL game. Here's what we'll do right now. Well, here's one of the things that we'll do today on the Lock Shop. I do want to get to the rest of those NFL lines, see if there's been any movement. We'll go there. But, you know, with Hus not being able to communicate, and it was funny, as soon as he said, I got 2 dogs tonight, I was like, he's going to the Sabres. He loves the Sabres. I told Maddie, I said, in the chat, and just just as he transitioned to the Sabres, Matt hit send on it, and then I was like, oh, he's going to read it. And but that's the thing. I mean, that's one of the great things about Coolbet. A lot of the games already for tomorrow night are up. So if you do want to hop on the Sabres, and I think Hus said the Columbus Blue Jackets as well, you can certainly do that. What I will do is we'll build a 3-gamer tonight in the National Hockey League based on my picks and your picks. So we're going to have to go with a consensus pick from the chat. Okay, so let's do that. I want you guys to throw out your best bet of the night in the National Hockey League on a money line. You want to go with a dog? Go with a dog. You want to go with the money line? Go with the money line. And if you are listening right now, and hopefully you are, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Text us your favorite play of the night tonight in the National Hockey League, and we'll put 3 together. That's what we'll end up doing. We'll take one of yours, or maybe 2 of yours, one of mine for sure, and we'll put together a little 3-gamer as well. So hit us up in the chat right now. We'll do that. Or, of course, at 780-218-9999. We'll come back around to the National Hockey League discussion in a second. Let's just pop over and take a look at the rest of the lines in the National Football League. I did see somebody say the line for the Argos game this weekend wasn't up yet. The quick reasoning on that is because the Argos have been playing hit and sit with their roster here over the final few games of the year. So odds makers will wait until they see what type of roster the Argos are going to roll out this week. Then they'll put out an extremely lopsided line for that game that the Argos are taking part in this week. Quickly through the NFL and where things sit right now. Baltimore Ravens, 4-point favorites on the road against the Tennessee Titans. Commanders and Falcons. Commanders, 2.5-point dogs against Atlanta. That's an intriguing game. I might dive into that one a little bit more. I'll have to leave my 4 best bets with the boys because I won't be in on Friday, at least for the Lock Shop. We'll do the Nielsen show and then hit the road down to McMahon for that Stamps Riders game. Huge game. Vikings, 2.5-point favorites against the Bears. No Justin Jefferson. I mean, I immediately think, wow, how are the Vikings only 2.5-point favorites against, a horrible Bears team? But that just goes to show how bad the Vikings have been so far this year as well. Seahawks plus 2.5 on the road against the Bengals. I don't mind that one. Probably end up doing in that game is I'll tease the Seahawks down to 9-ish, take them down to 9, move that total down to 39, and take the over 39. Seahawks plus the 9. Probably that's a teaser game for me. Niners. Boy, this line moved a lot. Didn't it? Wasn't this? I think this line was a little bit shorter yesterday. Niners are 6.5-point favorites on the road against the Browns. Please tell me that for some reason in my mind I'm thinking that line opened at 3.5. That could not have. Anyway, maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm getting that confused with another line. Niners minus 6.5 on the road against Cleveland. I think I'll be on the Niners in that one. Texans plus 1.5 at home against the Saints. Tough read on that game. Jags and Colts. Colts minus 4 against Indy. Gardner Minshew revenge game. Woo! That gets me excited. The Dolphins are 13.5-point favorites against the Panthers. Of course, the Detroit Lions just absolutely spanked the Panthers. I could see the Dolphins doing the same there. In a game that everybody will laugh at and nobody cares about, Raiders minus 3 at home against the New England Patriots. Cards and Rams, 7-point spread there. The Eagles are a 7-point favorite on the road against the Jets as well. The Lions, 3-point road faves going down to Tampa to take on the Bucks. Bills are now favored by 14 against the Giants. And the Cowboys, 2-point road favorites over the Chargers to wrap up the week. All right, let's see what's coming in here. Savage the Plumber is in and says, sends over the Canes. Spency, 5 Centsy. Is that Dan Spence who changed his name to Spency 5 Centsy? Or is that somebody new? I like that. Either way, good handle. Avs money line. Chris says, I like the Sens plus 1.5. I think they keep it close or win outright. Savage the Plumber says, I'd be down for the Avs minus 1.5 too. Cowboy Toronto minus 1.5 at home against the Habs. 780-218-9999. Zulu is in on the chat over there, and he's on the Senators money line tonight. Boy, you guys. I mean, this is one that we're building together. So if the Sens do hit on the money line tonight, or if they don't and we're on it, it's one of those rare situations where I can blame you instead of Lock Shoppers usually blaming us. I don't mind Sens plus 1.5. We can do something like that. That would be, so let's see, Sens plus 1.5 at minus 167. Okay. Sens plus 1.5 at minus 167. I think we can put that one in there. Oh, I thought Maddie was drinking. I thought that was a bottle of that whiskey that got dropped off. I was like, my God. Also, you can bring me up to speed on this. Maybe it's. Am I smelling? Did somebody burn something? For some reason, I feel like I'm smelling like something that's like a dryer that hasn't been turned on in a while or something.
I smell nothing.
Really?
Does it smell like burnt toast?
You smell anything? Yeah, he smells it.
I
Okay,
don't-
good.
yeah.
Thank God, Tommy. I thought I was having a heart attack. Yeah. It smells
Rubber.
like burnt rubber.
That's not good.
Rick,
Oh.
smell it. Take a whiff. What do you think it smells like?
Not burnt rubber.
Not burnt rubber?
So I don't smell something. You smell something that smells like a dryer that hasn't been used in a while. Tommy thinks it's a burnt rubber, and Eric.
There's nothing outside there. I thought maybe somebody like burnt something in the microwave or something. Huh. So there is some sort of scent, but we're just not sure what it is. That's good. It doesn't. I thought I was going nuts.
Nah,
Are you worried at all about your scent?
I don't have the strongest.
Trev's
of smell.
gonna smell.
I don't have the strongest
Pincher
of
Creek
smells.
kid. He might. You don't smell
Okay,
anything?
cool.
All right, fine.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
Okay, the young guys, we don't smell anything. So what does that mean about all you old guys?
How are you grouping yourself into the young guys with Trev?
I'm 32.
You're closer to Tommy Gazzola's age than Trev's age.
Yeah, not by much.
You can't say you're one of the young guys. You're a middle guy. You're a middle-aged guy.
No,
If
no.
our group, you're a middle-aged guy.
I'm at the closer to the bottom.
You're right in the middle.
There's 3 people
Trev,
older than me.
24, and I'm 42,
Yeah, and Eric and Tommy are in
Eric and Tommy
between.
in their late
So there's
30s.
the 3 old guys and the 2 young guys.
and you're in the middle.
I'm at the bottom.
You're at the middle.
I'm right
Trev's
at
at
the
the bottom.
He's the bottom. I'm right down there.
No. It's
The middle.
Trev's here, age-wise. Like Trev's down here.
Yeah, at the bottom. Then
You're
I'm
like
above.
here,
No, then I'm above
and then
him.
we're all up here. It's the same thing, right?
Well,
There's 8 years between you and Trev, and there's less than 8 years between you and Tommy and LT.
Just because you want to be part of the younger group.
I'm not part of the younger group. I think I'm truly. When is middle age? Look it up. I don't know. I feel like middle age starts at like 45. I don't think I'm middle age yet. I hope not. That's gonna be a real buzzkill as we build this parlay today. I'm gonna be very devastated. I find out that I'm middle age right now. This is over. All right, so I think we got to get on the Sens here, plus 1.5 at minus 167. That's
It's
one.
between the ages of 40 and 60 is defined as middle-aged.
Oh, damn it.
And you're middle-aged.
Yeah, but I'm at the younger part of middle aged.
You can't say that.
We'll see exactly. All right, so let's go Sens plus 1.5. You know what else I think might work here, guys? Is a team total play on the Maple Leafs. Let's see here. Maple Leafs over 3.5 goals at minus 149. They're going to score 3.5 goals on the Habs tonight, right? Where do we come out on Leafs minus 149 at over 3.5 goals? More value there than the Leafs. I could just go Leafs minus 1.5 at minus 111. That's probably better. Can't believe I'm putting an opening night bet here against my own Habs team. This is a tough pill to swallow. Leafs minus 1.5. I guess we do. We kind of just roll with the Canadian games here, eh? That might work. Chris says Caulfield to score plus 154. What is this? The middle-aged lunch? It's not the middle-aged lunch. Savage the Plumber says Habs will win. Book it. Really? We got to have a consensus. We got to have a consensus here if we're going to get this thing done. Jets plus 112 against the Flames. Is there a new coach bump for the Flames? I'd like to see the Jets win that game. I'm going to play it safe. Oilers money line. That's certainly an option. Habs always play the Leafs hard on opening night. Well, we can try to shy away. We can try to shy away from that one. I don't really want to play the total either way in that game. Oilers money line. Sens plus 1.5 Stay away from Chicago, Boston. Kings, Avs. That's a tough one to call. Habs, Leafs over 5.5 or 6.5. Steven says better than 200 odds for opening night for Montreal. Sounds good to me, to be honest. Oh man, you guys, are we sitting here going Habs money line on opening night? Is that what the chat is turning here? Jeez. Hey, do we have Oilers lineups yet? Like, has anybody put those out yet?
Well, if you were following along to the EST Hangout.
I wasn't, man. I was doing like 1,000 things.
No, they don't skate till 11:30 Pacific, which is 12:30 Mountain. So
I guess
when
late
you
in
and
the oil stream, yeah.
Yeah, when you and Tommy are on for the oil stream,
We'll have a starter.
should
have a
again, it's an optional. I'm assuming it's an optional skate or something. I don't know if it'll be the full team out there based on what we got last year. It was optional skates generally on game days. And I don't know if Jay Woodcroft will mention it as a veil afterwards.
All right, well, we'll have that during the oil stream, which is coming up here in a little bit. Okay, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to meet in the middle on this Habs-Leafs game. We'll go Senators plus 1.5. We'll go Habs plus 1.5. That's at minus 106. So if they play the Leafs tight, that'll be a good one for us. Sens plus 1.5. That's plus 211 already. And then we could just play like a super cowards parlay to start the season. And we can go Winnipeg Jets plus 1.5. And that would get us to plus 346. Should we just take the 3 Canadian dogs on the road plus 1.5? I think that's what we'll do. I don't know, Pat or Jake, if you're watching, put together a lot. Huss is going to hate this. Huss always wants us to take winners and stuff, but you know what? We'll throw Oilers money line in there. And Flames money line. Let's play the new coach bounce. Oilers money line, Flames money line, Habs plus 1.5, Senators plus 1.5, plus 795. Whew. That might be a little too much juice. Habs keep it close or win. Sens keep it close or win. Oilers win. Flames win at home against the Jets. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna roll with that. It's a big number, but we'll probably get a decent little boost on it. So Flames win, Oilers win, Senators plus 1.5, Habs plus 1.5, plus 795. Maddie, you're really good buddies with Pat Gregoire now. So if Mr. Lean could text this to P. Greggy, we'll see if we can get this one in. I'll give it to you one more time. Habs plus 1.5, Sens plus 1.5, Oilers minus 158, Calgary Flames minus 131. I think that's kind of fits with everybody. Zulu, who was in on the text line a little bit earlier, he liked Sens money line, so we played a little bit safer. I think everybody in Edmonton likes the Oilers. I'm putting the Flames in there. This is going to come back to bite me pretty good if the Jets, like if we lose this parlay tonight on the Flames, that's going to suck. And I'll take that heat tomorrow on the lock shop. Promise you, I'll own it. But if we hit on it, I'll own that too. Hey, guys, that smell is probably just your fan starting up. Yes, that's what it smelled like. I was thinking a dryer starting up, but in my mind, I was thinking...
Our furnace has been going.
Well, damn it. Why? So what?
It's been going, so it shouldn't be that. We've already had that smell.
That is what it smells like, though.
Well, Trev didn't smell anything, nor did I.
Yeah, but 3 of us did.
And you guys are all old.
Oh, my goodness. Chris says, I take my Caulfield will score back. Caulfield first Habs goal scorer, plus 385. Chris Morris, you are a risky boy. And I still like the idea of that being the Chris Morris. 3-time Grey Cup champion, University of Alberta Golden Bears coach, off to a great start this year. His team is out practicing right now, and Chris Morris is in the nasty chat giving us Cole Caulfield goal props. If that were to ever happen, if Chris was to text me like, Dusty, that was me, that would be one of the...
Instead of prepping for the Huskies on Saturday,
yeah,
he's dialed in on the lock shop.
And he's gonna absolutely hammer this Cole Caulfield first goal prop, which I like. Penner's Pancakes is in there. Says most first games Most games in first 10 to 12 should be hitting the over, accounting for sloppy play and early season mishaps. Yeah, I would probably tend to think that it goes that way. Yesterday we got 2 unders, though. All right, Nashville and Tampa, 8 goals in that game. That would have been an over. I think the Chicago-Pittsburgh game was set at 6.5. That ended up being that's a real ball buster on opening night. Pittsburgh losing to Chicago at home. Nothing for the Penguins. I don't care about the Penguins, but that was a killer for us. And that one would have hit under because that would have been at 6.5, and it ends up finishing at 6. And then Vegas with that 4-1 kind of tidy victory against the Seattle Kraken is something that you could look at as well. Tom is in and says, see you guys on the 20th. Bison's football PA announcer here. Oh, look at that. Bison's football PA announcer in the house on the Lock Shop. Well, here's a good one. I'll take a quick rip through the other NHL exclusives here. We got Fantasy Football 5 coming up. A running back that may be available on your waiver wire, depending on the level of GMs you're in a league with, that you might want to stash. We'll get to that today on the Fantasy Football 5. And then a game day version of the oil stream coming up here with myself and Tommy Gazzola. Pat says, Tyler Bertuzzi playing on Matthews and Marner's line, plus 124 for an assist. A bit juicy, but minus 155 for a point as well. Ooh. Plus 124 for an assist for Bertuzzi, rolling Matthews, and Marner tonight. Not bad. I could be convinced. That being said, I usually try to stay away from Leafs games. We got on the Habs plus 1.5 already. Guys, that smell is the Flames burning out to the Jets. Ooh, I think that's a Jets fan in there. They probably hate me now. Usually I think people in Winnipeg somewhat like me, but after I took the Flames and threw them into that parlay tonight, the tide might be turning. Tide might be turning a little bit on that one. All right, let's take a look at the other exclusives you can get over at CoolBet here. We got Fantasy Football 5 coming up here in about 5-7 minutes, and then the oil stream at edmontonsportstalk.com. Someone roars. Canada scores. We already hit on that. That is all 7 Canadian teams to combine for 25-plus goals tonight at plus 125. I like that one. How sweet it is. Willie Nylander, Adrian Kempe, and Pettersson to all record a point. That's a nice one, too. I'm going to go through all of these and then just go, oh, that's a nice one. Oh, that's a really nice one. Like, I don't know if I'm going to look at an exclusive anytime all season and go, I'm not buying it. I could pretty much be convinced on almost all of these every single night. How sweet it is. Nylander, Kempe, and Pettersson to all record at least 1 point. I like it. Plus 235. Shots. Timmy Stützle, Brad Marchand, Leon Draisaitl at plus 370. I will say I'm not on that one tonight because of what happened with the Taylor Hall shots thing last night. How can you trust these stats guys in-house taking shots away? Like the guy who's running, and I know NHL organizations, employees are not allowed to bet on things. They're not allowed to gamble. They're not allowed to be in hockey pools and all that garbage. But you can't tell me, and I'll never believe it, but you can't tell me that the guys running the stats last night in that Pittsburgh-Chicago game weren't on Taylor Hall under 2.5 shots. I'll never believe it. I thought he got the third shot in that game. New team Who Dis, Bertuzzi, Brown, and Dubois all to record 1 point, plus 385. I like it. Finishers. I don't even need to read the rest. Anytime there's a Finnish exclusive, I'm on it. I pretend to be Finnish. Of course I'm going to be in on this. Aho and Rantanen, both to score. Spicy, plus 415. Apple picking season. Marner, Hyman, and McKinnon, all to record 1 assist. I really like that one. I'll make a note on this one. I'm going to get on this one after. Oh, I might get on this one right now. Hyman's going to be rolling. Top unit power play. And then Marner and McKinnon are machines. So yeah, I'll hop in on that one. I like that. Plus 445. Let's lock that one in right now. Done. In for the ride. That should be good. Cheer for assists. Bad boy Bedard. Connor Bedard to score and Chicago Blackhawks to win, plus 650. Okay, I lied. I said I'd sit here and be like, oh, that's a good one. That's juicy. Hawks aren't opening up the season with back-to-back wins. No chance. Got the win last night. Now, I mean, Bedard, you want to love Bedard? I can't get in on the Hawks opening up with back-to-back wins. If you like it, plus 650. Cancel the parade Marner and Matthews both under 1.5 points, and the Montreal Canadiens to win, plus 660. I do kind of like that one. And then Lamplighters. This one I'm going to get in on right now as well. These are the best goal scorers by a mile. Well, not by a mile because Connor McDavid exists, but could make a case they're the best goal scorers on their teams. Austin Matthews, Leon Draisaitl, and Kyle Connor all to score tonight. That's plus 920. And I am going to hop in on that one for sure. The fact that it's plus 920, longest odds, I like that one a lot more. Like, I like Matthews, Draisaitl, and Connor all to score better than Bedard to score and the Hawks to win again. So, yeah, let's get on that one. I like that. All right, let's see. A couple more in the nasty chat today. Who's starting in net for the Oilers? Cowboys wondering. Hey, we're still wondering too. We will know in probably about 45 minutes. Savage the Plumber says, I sprinkled that Lamplighters for sure as well. Now, how can you not? And Spency 5 cents, he says, the shot count conspiracy is real. And I would like to see, like, are all those games, and I know some of the stats crew here, and I golf in the summer with a bunch of the stats crew down in Calgary. And I would like to know the checks that these guys go through. As in, after they submit the stats at the end of the game, is there another guy back in NHL head office who goes over all the stats just to clarify there's not somebody on the take working for one of these teams? Probably something that you need to work on. Chris is hoping that we make more Nasty Chat exclusives. Well, it's certainly something we can do, head coach of the University of Alberta Golden Bears. You get what you want. Spency 5 centsy. McDavid over 1.5 points is minus 162. And let's wrap up this episode of Lock Shop like this. We don't need any other reasons to believe that Connor McDavid is the best ever. We don't need to be convinced that Connor McDavid is an offensive weapon, the likes of which we've never seen. But do you know how bloody ridiculous it is that Connor McDavid to get 2 points is minus 162, and we're also like, it seems reasonable. Like, that's just how good this guy is. You're expecting him to get somewhere between 2 and 3 points per game. And he averages more games a season with 3 or 4 points than he does with 0. I think last year he averaged more. I'd have to double check on this. Now I'm just kind of getting carried away. But I don't think it would be a stretch that Connor McDavid had more 3-point games last year than 1-point games. Like, that's how good he is. We have to look it up. Maybe I'm way off, but I do get the sense that he is just that darn ridiculous. All right, so that's going to do it. Hus did pop by, gave us some absolute gold along the way. Tomorrow to be myself and at least one of, if not both, of the Cool Bet boys, and we'll be setting up the Thursday Nighter, another busy night in the National Hockey League, recapping everything that happened tonight in the National Hockey League. The exclusives tab is where you can find all of our fun stuff. Over at coolbet.com. And if not yet signed up for an account, use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you'll get yourself a nice little deposit bonus up to $200 on your initial deposit. Good luck tonight in the National Hockey League. Lots of football talk coming your way tomorrow on the Lock Shop. Fantasy Football 5 with a running back that you got to get your hands on if you haven't already. He could help for at least a couple of weeks. We'll get into that coming up here right away. All right, let's do it. Welcome back aboard the Fantasy Football 5. If you're watching live right now, we basically just changed the screen and the show continues. If you have fantasy football questions, now is the window for that. We got the Oil Stream coming up, game day episode of the Oil Stream. People are going to be fired up. Tommy and I will get you ready. And about 30 minutes into the Oil Stream today, we should have opening night lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, which I think we can get pretty excited about. The Fantasy Football 5 today and every day throughout the NFL season, brought to you by our great partners at Century Casino on Fort Road. Join Eric there every Monday and Thursday nights. They're going to be giving away a trip to Los Angeles to watch the Browns and the Rams, and we'll have our Super Bowl party out there as well. We had a really nice party I guess it was last Thursday now. almost a week ago, and it was a good time, and I'm very much looking forward to having a bigger and better one for the Super Bowl. So that should be a pretty good time as well. If you have any start-sit questions, guys who might still be kicking around on the waiver wire, what do you got? 780-218-9999. That's 780-218-9999. Or, of course, you can hit us up in the nasty chat today as well. And, there's an interesting waiver wire. I mean, waiver wires probably would have already been executed in most of your leagues. I am in one league that runs waivers on Wednesday night. Also in a league, this comes back to that Jamie Thomas league. When we talk about commissioners who are causing issues. So on Sunday morning, and I don't know if he ever updated, they put a vote up on it. I'm pretty sure the vote got passed. But on Sunday morning, I had a guy who was out, and I went to pick, I can't even remember who it was. I had a guy who wasn't going to play. It must have been a tight end, because I went to pick up another tight end, and for some reason on Sunday morning, it said the guy wouldn't be available, and this is the whole list. I know sometimes a guy get dropped on Saturday, and then you're sitting there and you go, well, okay, he was just dropped. You can't pick him up till Monday or whatever. But this was the whole list. This is just the way it worked. But you couldn't just go and pick somebody up on the Sunday morning to fill an injury spot. It made no sense to me. So I guess I started kind of a little bit of a stink, because I was on the I went in on the chat. Let me see if there's an update on this. I went in on the chat, and I basically, how in the world can you not pick guys up on Sunday morning? I've never been in a league where, as of Sunday, you had to put in a claim and then not get that player until Monday. That was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. So let's see here. I wonder if we got an update on this. Still not seeing an update. By the way, in that league, somebody did trade Gibbs for Montgomery, straight up. Not too sure. Yeah, so see, here it is. This is the vote. It's 100% unanimous. Free agent ads should be allowed on Sunday morning. You don't have to have waiver claims. I don't know if that was a setting and JT blew up, but he's been commissioner of this league for years now. Extremely disappointing. Dean says, I have to deal with St. Brown, Evans, and Higgins all banged up. Which two are likely to play and or do the best? It's too early in the week to know that, man. I mean, if they were all to play, you're probably going St. Brown. And I would likely look at T. Higgins, considering the bounce back from the Bengals offense last week. I know people are instantly claiming, like, Bengals offense back. Not sure I 100% buy into that just yet. But if, let's say, all three guys play, Evans is going to be going up against a Detroit defense that does cause a few issues. I would probably go with Amon St. Brown and T. Higgins. But it's been bad, man. The injuries continue to pile up. The one guy I was looking at, and he may have already been claimed in a bunch of your leagues, but if you're in a 10-team league or something, you might want to take a look for it. But it's Jeff Wilson Jr. coming back from injury. You see what's happened there in Miami right now. Mostert, you never know. I mean, Mostert's already surprised me that he's been healthy as long as he has for this season. Mostert's always a sell high candidate for me, because at some point it's going to fall off. He'll get hurt. But A-Chain, who's third in running back scoring in PPR so far, I've got him in a couple of pretty important leagues to me. He's going to be out here for multiple weeks. Jeff Wilson Jr. is just getting healthy again. I would think not 100% that he picks up exactly where A-Chain left off, but that's an offense that can definitely allow two running backs to have a fantasy impact. And if for some reason you get Wilson for a week without Mostert and without A-Chain, then you're going to be laughing. So it's not even a stash at this point. He's probably a guy you could flex in if he's still available in your league. I don't have his ownership percentages in front of me, but that's a guy you should probably be looking at if he wasn't already just stashed on an IR somewhere in your league. Like the league that Maddie and I are in, 16 guys. Wilson probably was drafting like the 8th or 9th round. Like he'll never be available on the waiver wire. But in some of these other leagues, you could probably still find him. Maybe not today, but I do think there's a chance that you could get to it. I got one quick text that came to my phone, fantasy football, from Kirk. I don't know if he's listening or watching. Hey, Dusty, how much do you think Tyreek Hill is worth right now? Struggling at 2 and 3 in a league with Hill, Amon-Ra, Olave, Ayuk, and Palmer at receiver, and terrible running backs. Man, Tyreek Hill is worth whatever running back you want, basically, with the exception of Christian McCaffrey. So I wouldn't trade Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I'd try to pawn off some of these other receivers if you want. But I would not trade Tyreek Hill. That is a non-starter for me. Dean says that Wilson is about 47% rostered in one of his leagues. So you can probably find him. And if you're struggling at the running back spot, I'm in one league where I have a pretty good team. I'm just like one running back away. I started Justice Hill this past week. I'd probably like to get Jeff Wilson into that spot. I'm also trying to trade for Eckler in a league. I don't know if that's going to work, but I've got a guy in a league. It's a keeper league. And I'm thinking of offering, like, what's it cost to get Eckler in a keeper league? If I was to trade, and I've got a bunch of good receivers in that league. If I was to trade Addison and London for Eckler, the guy that would be trading Eckler is in rebuild mode and doesn't have any really good young receivers. Is that too much? Is giving up Addison and London too much to go out and get Austin Eckler? This is me asking you. Slide in my DMs or hit me up on Twitter at NielsenTSN1260 because I feel like that might be a little bit too pricey. But Chargers coming off a bye week. Eckler, it looks like he's going to be back. I don't know. I'm thinking about putting out an offer like that because I got other receivers that I can certainly handle. All right, Oil Stream is coming up. I don't know why, but I'm insanely excited to see who's in the starters net today. That's going to be good. We'll get into that on the Oil Stream, which is on the way. As always, the Fantasy Football 5 is brought to you by our great partners at Century Casino. Join Eric on Mondays and Thursdays. Get in that draw. They got the square board going for prizes all the time. Really good time. And Thursday, got to get on those brisket cheesesteaks. They are absolutely delicious. Century Casino, Fort Road, here in Edmonton. Sports Bar and Lounge, your official NFL partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Oil Stream is coming up. Don't go anywhere.